So in this video, we are going to review mods 1 and 2. Now, if we take a look at this first question, it says the number 923,187,456 is a pan-digital square. It uses all the digits from 1 to 9. And it's actually the number 30,384 squared, which is very interesting. But the main thing we need to get at for number 1 is they want to round that very cool number to the nearest 1,000. Now, 1,000 has 3 zeros, so that might help you pinpoint where you're looking at. But this is the 1,000 spot. When I said it, I said 923,187,000. before I said the 456. Now, you want to look at the spot immediately behind it, and if that spot is 5 or larger, we're going to round the 7 to an 8. If it's anything under 5, we're going to keep it a 7. So when rounded, this would be 923,187,000. And you'll notice the last thing I say is 1,000, if that helps. Okay, let's take a look at number 2. It says we want to round 18.65409 to the nearest 1,000th. Now, again, 1,000 has 3 zeros. That can help you because the third spot here is the thousandths with a TH. We still do the same rule. Look behind it. If that number is 5 or larger, we're going to round the 4 to a 5. If it's anything less than 5, we're going to keep it a 4. Now, because we are rounding to the nearest 1,000th, for this particular case, we should only show 3 decimal places, like there are 3 zeros in the number 1,000. And so that would be our answer. And then finally, our last one here. It says, select the best estimate for the distance traveled by a truck traveling at an average rate between 40 and 50 miles per hour for 3 to 4 hours. Well, right in the middle of 40 and 50 is 45. So let's kind of do that. Let's make that 45 miles. And then right smack in the middle between 3 and 4 hours is 3.5 hours. And distance equals rate times time. We know the, this is miles per hour. Let's make that a little clearer there. We know the rate is 45. We know the time is 3.5. So all we have to do is multiply 45 times 3.5. What is that for?
The senior thing? I forgot what it's called, but
Do I get to wear this? How cute is that? Is my big curviness gonna fit into that?
I think you will.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
How cool is that? Neat. And then if we do 45 times 3.5, we get 157.5 miles. Now, which one of those is closest to that? Well, the one that's closest to that is this 1B. 120 is a lot less than 195, and 210 is a lot more than. I look for the one closest to it, 157.5. Let's take a look at mod 2. Mod 2 says, what necessary piece of information is missing that prevents solving the problem below? The steak sells for $8.15. What is the cost per pound? Well, the necessary information for number 1 is, how many pounds is it? Because if we don't know how many pounds is it, how could we break it down for the price per pound? And the way that we look here, cost per pound, we have the cost, we don't have the pounds. Cost per pound, you would have to do the cost divided by the pounds, so we don't have that much. Let's take a look at 2. You have $250 to spend and you need to purchase 4 new tires. If each tire weighs 21 pounds and costs $42 plus $250 tax, how much money will you have left after buying the tires? Well, we don't care about the weight. Now, if they mentioned something about the cost for a pound of tire or something strange like that, so the 21 is irrelevant. So remember, only use the thing that you need. So if we think about each tire, is $44.50. Okay, so that's the cost of one tire. We have to buy 4. So $44.50 times 5. Or I'm sorry, we're only getting 4 tires. Trucks have 4 tires last I checked. Times 4. 44.50 times 4 is $178. Now, if they said, what is the cost for you to buy the tires? It'd be $178. But they did ask, if you have $250 to spend, how much money is left? So I like to always, when it's a word problem, read that question one more time. Are you answering the question given? Okay, so we're going to take 250 minus 178, and the answer for that would be $72 would be left. Okay, so that's how we would do number 2. Let's take a look at number 3. It says, what is the better value, a 12-ounce jar of honey for $2.19 or an 18-ounce jar of honey for $3.45? Now, we want to look at something called the unit price. So you're always going to do cost divided by how much you have, like the units or the quantity. That would be our unit price. So the first one, the cost goes into your calculator first, divided by the quantity. And the other one is the cost, $3.45, divided by the quantity, 18. So if we do 219 divided by 12, that is the price per ounce, because this is price and this is ounces. So it would be, I'm going to write the whole decimal because we want to compare the other side. And I don't know how many decimal places that one will take me. I don't know what the value is, okay? So the other one would be 3.45 divided by 18, because that was the 18-ounce package. So that's 0.19166. Now it says, if you go back, always read that question again, which is the better value? So if you notice, a better value would mean it's cheaper, it's less. So this one is the better value. The 12-ounce jar is a better value, okay? Now let's look at number 4. In that one, it says an automobile purchased for $34,800 is worth $9,800 after 5 years. Assuming that the car's value depreciated steadily from year to year, what is it worth at the end of the second year? So if we think about, we want to know how much is it changing, okay? So if you take your $34,800 and you minus off the $9,800, we'll see how much it declined, okay? So $34,800 minus $9,800 is $25,000, okay? And then it says it happened over a 5-year time frame. So if you do 25,000 divided by 5, that means it is going down. So I'll put a little negative there to say it's going down by $5,000 per year. So it says, what is it worth at the end of the second year? Well, the first year, it's $34,800. If we multiply this by 2, or at the beginning, it's $34,800. In 2 years, it would go down by $10,000. So it would have been your $34,800 minus off the $10,000. It would have been worth, at that point, $24,800. So there's a little bit about some unit cost and some purchasing, things like that for Mod 2. So I hope that helps you. Thanks for watching.